let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Kevin.
And this is John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we're taking a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, you guys. And we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
We are super pleased to also be joined again for our...
Yes!
This is the penultimate episode of our Point Break breakdown.
We're going to break it all
down. So how many do we have left then? So there's this one and the next one. So that's how many? 2?
Utah, give me 2. This is...
So I just had a meatball sandwich between these 2 episodes, and it was amazing.
Was it the best of your life?
I had to throw it away, though, halfway through.
That's a fucking bummer, man.
I know.
That's a bummer, man.
I had to get chase a squirrel.
So, where we last left off, Utah has figured out that Bodhi, his Zen surf master, is also the head of the ex-president's bank robbery crew. And they know now that he's FBI. And he just let them slip through his fingers. He fucked his knee all up.
How do they know that, though?
How do they know what?
So
that he's FBI?
No, that he led them, as in, how do they think that Keanu didn't do everything in his power to catch them? Because the guy freaking gave blood, sweat, tears.
Swayze knows, right? Bodhi knows.
But as far as the department knows.
Oh, that's a good question.
He literally did everything right.
Pappas is grilling him.
Yeah.
Pappas is like...
Pappas he's sending him home.
He's suspicious that he let them get away on purpose.
But I don't get it. Literally, he ran his ass off, fought.
Yeah.
Hurt his knee.
No one saw it.
Well, because Pappas knows what a crack shot Johnny is.
Yeah.
And
still,
he says, you never miss. Which, how would Pappas know that? Do they go to the shooting range all the time together? I don't know.
See, I was wondering, how, why
the movie, right? Apparently, people know
he is a badass.
Yeah, he is.
I'm wondering, to myself. He
has his record. You're right. He has his.
And I was thinking, why did he even tell him, that he missed? Then why not just say, I never got a shot? But maybe
because he emptied his
do they
gun.
count your bullets when
I'm
you get
sure
back?
They do. Especially after a moment like that, they'll be like, did you discharge your weapon? You're not going to lie. Because you probably
that's going to look conspicuous.
Yeah. But
did you fire this gun in the air a bunch of times?
Yeah. But Pappas, whatever he suspects or
You're right,
believes.
though, because they'll be like, where did you fire? Where's the casings and all that, right? They could probably figure out the fact that you didn't even hit Jack, man.
Yeah.
You didn't hit that tree. You didn't hit,
That's true.
I fired it a bunch of times and then
I fired at him over here, but I missed. But then they could go over there and see you didn't hit anything over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can see it.
Pappas is calling all of this into question. He's saying, I question your loyalty because I think that you're too close to Bodhi.
Right.
It's funny. Nobody trusts him on either side.
So Pappas is kind of he sends him home to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a bad thing to do after you just shot up a freaking gang of bank robbers. Don't you need some police protection at this time?
I love that Pappas tells him, go home, you look like hammered shit.
But doesn't Pappas think they could be after you because they've seen your face?
Yeah, wouldn't they lock
it should be risky.
Somewhere?
He should be have protection.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If anything, even if they suspect that he's friends with them, they should follow him.
Instead,
there's no explanation for Pappas.
Yeah. But Pappas is Pappas.
He plays by his own rules.
Yeah, he doesn't think like that. Yeah.
He's a fucking loose cannon.
So back at Johnny's place, Tyler is patching him up.
Yeah.
He tells her he got in a hit and run. The guy never stopped. And
he does have all these
another
cuts on his
lie.
face.
How many lies has he told?
Their relationship is built on a foundation of lies.
Then Tyler says, "You look like you want to tell me something." And he kind of starts to tell her, but he's struggling.
This is so hard.
This is so hard. Why is it so hard to say what I really mean? And she says, don't worry, it can wait. Guys, Have you ever with a woman been like, you're going to confess something that you're clearly having a hard time confessing, and the woman's like, don't worry, baby, it can wait.
She's not another woman.
There are two
She's special.
There are two unnatural things that people do in movies with their hands. One is the reaching over and putting your finger on someone's lips to tell them to hush. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
And then another one is gently placing something in, like some precious object in someone's palm and then closing their hand over it. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But when she's like,
No,
it
man,
can
it's
wait.
okay. It
Yeah,
can
it's
wait.
like, shh,
Never
I'm like,
in my
stop
life have I had something, if you're clearly struggling, you got something important you want to tell to your girl. Have you ever had her say, shh, baby, it can wait? No.
She's
She
like,
wants
you better
to know. You want to know right now.
You better tell me the
Motherfucker.
fuck now before I stab you.
You tell me right now. But this is like such a movie cliche that so if you have the good guy who's been doing bad guy things, like keeping a secret or lying, you gotta have them attempt to tell the truth before they get caught in the lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Even
even if
if
they don't get it out or whatever, but that like takes the weight off of them somehow. Like, well, guy, he wanted to tell her, so he's not a bad guy. Because
I think it also helps the audience sort of say, well, he was on the cusp, but it also makes us all go, fucking just tell her, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so she says, don't worry, can wait. They seem to have banged. Like
Well, probably.
Because she later is like very scantily clad.
Well, yeah. But first, we have to cut over to the ex-president. We cut over to probably
Things
Bodhi's
are getting
house.
hot and heavy at
Camp
Utah's
Bodhi.
place, but meanwhile, we got to go to Bodhi, like ex-presidents, and they're like hashing it all
It's
out.
the ex-presidents and Rosie sitting around a bonfire, and they're sort of split on how to proceed.
Yeah.
They're not pleased. None of them are pleased with Utah being a federal agent.
It seems like about half of them want to just like cut and run, and half of them, like Bodhi wants to do this last job.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
I feel like
one
the
last
stakes
job.
have been raised for Bodhi, and he loves it.
Bodhi fucking
Yeah,
loves the adrenaline.
adrenaline.
He's an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, I feel like Bodhi's like, I knew there was something with this guy. I didn't even expect to be this good. This is great. Let's freaking keep at it and play this game
Have you
all
guys
the way.
both seen Hurt Locker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another Bigelow movie, and it's a movie about being an adrenaline junkie as well. I just put that together. That's like a theme.
There's
her,
some
I guess.
moments in here other guys who were just a couple of scenes ago totally on board with dying young,
Yeah.
like going ahead and flaming out, or like, I'm scared, I don't want to do this.
I was impressed in this scene by the non-actors, like the dude playing Gromit and the dude playing Nathaniel, the guys who were like, they were pro surfers,
Right.
Yeah.
who kind of could act a little bit. They gave like good performances. Yeah. Gromit's like, I am scared. Like, let's leave town now tonight.
I love it.
And,
I would have been like, that's my
Nathaniel's
vote.
like the only person this is a game to is you. Like, they're both like crushing it on the acting front.
Yeah, it's-
when you work with a good actor like a Swayze, I think they can bring it out of you. But
Good
I was
point.
totally
Great
buying
point.
in with those guys.
Same.
And I kind of, like you said, I agree with them. Like, you guys are busted. Like, you guys got to get to Mexico or wherever.
This is also where we get the first glimpse of something is up with Bodhi other than just like he's, some Zen guru. He starts talking about being a slave to a system that kills the human spirit, and that they're doing this for, it's almost like it's like a pseudo political reason. And all of a sudden that takes the mystique away from the Bodhi character a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he's just like any dictator, right? You feel like he can save the world. And
He's like a
blind
cult leader. Like, his personality,
Yeah.
he's just got these
Yeah.
guys like wrapped around his finger.
Now you never thought you were gonna get to that point with him, but you did, and now you're afraid of what he really is. But you didn't think you were gonna get to that point.
I love the
He's like saying, we're
poetry.
showing all these people who are like commuting to their jobs every day, like that.
That part is poetry. That part
Right.
is awesome.
That you don't have to play by society's rules. Like,
That's where so we stand for something to those dead souls inching along the freeways in their metal coffins.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
I'm
he,
one of
he
those
gets
guys.
deep.
Yeah.
He gets even more deep, but it's not surprising. You just never thought it would get to that point.
Absolutely.
So Swayze had said like in an interview that Bodhi was such an amazing character to play because there was nothing that he could do that was wrong as long as he believed in it. Like, I feel like that's kind of, he's like, yeah, if I say that Robin Banks is okay, then it's okay. Like,
That's a sociopath.
it totally is.
Well, I mean, he for sure has problems, definitely.
But
Sociopath is probably what Bodhi
But
is.
you can sort of see, as you said, like you were Team Bodhi earlier. Like you can see it. Like there's
but you
logic,
also want,
there's logic in his philosophy.
But yeah, if you're Team Bodhi like me, you still want everybody to get away free without anybody getting hurt, which is basically becomes more unrealistic as the movie goes on.
Right.
You want Surfer Zen Bodhi, not
Exactly.
Not
like
I've
Killer.
suddenly formed a political system, like cult following thing in my mind. Bodhi also mentions that he has a plan for Johnny.
You're right. He's like, don't worry, I know
Yikes.
exactly how to deal with him. And you
Well,
don't really know what he means
cult
by
leaders,
that.
dictators know how to deal with their enemies, and they get a little extreme.
And with that cuts hard to Utah's asleep in his bed, and you see like a gun, like a shadow of a hand holding a gun, like approaching
And
him.
you think
in
it's
bed.
Bodhi.
You don't know, right? Like clearly, you're meant with the way Bodhi left off to suspect it could be
It's
Bodhi.
a good cut.
It's a solid cut. The gun shoots the pillow like right next to Johnny's head,
Which is crazy.
and it's Tyler who like has found
crazy.
his FBI ID, and she knows like you fucking lied to me. Oh, dude, this
You
scene
don't want
is
she's the last girl in the world you want to lie to.
yeah.
She's a wild one.
And she suspects rightfully that you probably lied about everything, including your dead parents, and Utah confesses.
Yeah, he tries.
He's like, I made that up. Like, my parents are alive. They live in Columbus, Ohio. He's like, I needed you just for my job at first, but
I really love you.
yeah, exactly what you would say regardless.
Right.
But I was like, she runs out of there. Like, man, dude.
Wearing almost no clothes.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I say they like probably
he can't walk.
They probably had just hooked up. He's too like banged up to chase her or whatever. But to be honest, like that's pretty unforgivable. Like using her story with her dead
tragedy.
parents against her.
Well, the only way for him to get a second chance is if he saves her life, really.
We can only hope that
In the context of a film, yes. God,
But like,
too bad.
You can't
He's
blame
fucked.
her for being so mad at him.
But if we didn't get to the point later, then no, the relationship is over.
Like he took her biggest weakness and he exploited it. You know, like that's not a
her,
way to
her
treat
biggest
somebody.
personal tragedy, not necessarily a weakness, but like that tragedy of it that's harsh.
But so then you got him like leaving her that voicemail, like pleading, like, you know I fucked up, all that. Like I've been
Why
there.
am I so bad at this?
I've been there recently, where you fucked something up royally,
it happens.
and you're like trying to, what can I say to undo this unforgivable thing that I did? And sometimes there is nothing. Like.
And that's okay.
It's just you live and learn, I guess. Fucking
That's
Utah.
what Alana said.
What, who?
Alanis.
What?
You learn. You learn.
Fucking shit.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile,
Right
things
decade.
are breaking loose in Malibu.
Yes, they are. They're coming apart.
Oh my God. The doorbell rings, or like another early morning doorbell. I think Utah, clearly he thinks it's Tyler, right?
But he rushes to answer. So
he rushes,
clearly,
he's like hobbling into the door.
No,
he thinks it's Tyler,
I was
right?
about to say, clearly the knee is feeling some better because he like runs to the door.
I think he was struggling, but
He kind of hopped over, didn't he?
yeah,
I
he's
thought he
not
was
doing
moving
great.
pretty- okay.
I don't think he's doing
All
great.
right.
It's totally not
fine.
Tyler. Spoiler
No.
alert. It's Bodhi and the rest of those guys.
I love sort of like how Bodhi is very like, hey man, like very,
He's acting like nothing ever happened, right?
And the rest of the guys are all like weird half hand, like, hey, like waving, like,
It was good.
hey,
It was
man.
whoever told them all how to act. It was like believable.
Yeah.
Like only Bodhi wanted to have anything to ever do with Utah again. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, you kind of expect them to have a working relationship because, again, I think we discussed this offline, and we'll get to it a little more later. But their relationship is still, in a weird way, intact.
Oh yeah.
Like nothing
Yeah.
really has changed that drastically.
And Bodhi's almost like we can still pretend like nothing ever happened.
Which
Almost.
is, yeah.
And at this point, Utah's like, well, what I got to freaking lose? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he's almost like, I lost my girl. Everybody hates me in my job. They think
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. I mean, I'm not gonna kill you, so fuck it, I'm coming. Let's do it.
He's sort of isolated.
They're sort of forcing him to come along with them, but he's like
saying,
and he's sort of trying to get to his gun. Utah is, but he can't quite. And I found myself wondering, like, if he had gotten the gun, what was going to happen?
What the hell was he going to do, though? He's not.
Was he going to try to arrest him right then and there?
Was he going to get in a freaking shootout with four guys?
Did he just want to have it for wherever they were going, or did he want to arrest Bodhi right there?
But was he that naive? We were talking naive earlier.
Four guys.
Did he really think he was going to do something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just wondering what he never got to the gun, so we'll never know.
Right.
I was just wondering, obviously, like, what was the plan?
Maybe
he just wanted to have it in case he needed it.
Maybe instinctively he thought he needs it for protection, because at the very beginning he probably thought, are these guys here to kill me?
That's a good point.
Because then later he's like, all right, these guys wants to play more games. Well, I'll play some more games because I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to suspect they want him dead.
Right.
You know?
Well, maybe not that. Maybe he believes that he in good faith, like he knows that Bodhi knows he didn't want to kill him. So maybe he's thinking they want to teach me a lesson, but maybe he has this kind of sixth sense, like Bodhi doesn't want to kill me, just like I couldn't kill him.
Yeah, I mean, the connection between the two of them is still there. I guess.
I think he has this blind faith that whatever they're about to do is going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like, it could be something he doesn't like, but he doesn't think it's going to be all these guys. Because if they want to kill him, they're going to kill him right there. They would have knocked on the door, said hi, right? They would have just broken in. And
yes, they would have killed him in his
down.
house, not like try to take him somewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
So he's like, let's do it. Let's just freaking go. Because, again, he's hit rock bottom.
It's hard to buy Utah going along with it, but I guess he trusts Bodhi.
Yeah.
Like, he's like...
He has no
still
choice.
choice.
He has no choice.
Yeah, that's true. So he goes with them, right? They take him out to, like, the airstrip.
Yep.
Where they appear to be, like, gearing up to go skydiving.
One of the other best moments of this movie is this scene right here where trust has been lost, but this weird dynamic remains.
Yeah.
So again, I said earlier that, they know that they know he kind of wants them arrested, and he knows that they kind of want him either dead or out of their way.
Right.
But they also know that Bodhi likes him, and he knows Bodhi knows he likes him. So it's almost like, let's go along with this kind of weird date.
Everyone is going along with Bodhi.
It messes you up psychologically,
it's
though.
It's a very weird scenario, because if you put yourself in Bodhi's shoes, or if you put yourself in Johnny's shoes, what would you do different?
Yeah, and the thing is, if you took Bodhi out of the equation, then it'd be like Johnny and the other guys.
Well, no, the other guys would be out of town already. The other guys would be out of town already. They'd be in Mexico. They'd be like, I'm not even fucking with Johnny. I don't have murder on my hands. I'm gone.
The story would be over.
Because they would not kill in cold blood.
So it's like Bodhi, they're all drawn to Bodhi, and he's not done playing the game yet.
This latest experiment, this latest, like, high.
Oh, man. Bodhi.
Oh, he's like an enigma.
Wrapped in an enigma. Wrapped in a meatball sub.
Wrapped in a sexy, tan and blonde hair.
So they're about to go on this amazing thrill ride.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've never jumped out of an airplane.
either.
I have.
Yeah. How is it?
It's amazing.
Is it?
I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would love to do it solo.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you had a instructor.
Yeah.
So does that scene over the lakes, does this make you feel something?
Yeah. I still watch it, and immediately the sensation of leaving, like the line that Roach says, "You're about to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. How does it make you feel?" It's like, I had that scene playing in my mind. And the funny thing was, is that I went skydiving with my sister on her 18th birthday, the day she graduated from high school, and my dad, and we all went together. And also with the bass player from Mastodon,
okay,
and a roadie, and some other randos that were on the plane with us. But I was the second to last person. My sister was the first or second person off the plane, and I didn't feel any nerves about it at all. I didn't feel nervous about it in the least, because I was like, these guys are professionals. And I'm about to get strapped to one of them, and they do this all the time.
They don't want to die,
and they don't want to die. They have impetus
know, man.
to not.
I don't like
I
it.
was,
One mistake
I
here.
was,
Fuck.
I was in the back of that plane, and you go up to what was it, 15 or 20, how many thousand feet it was, and I was like, God, the world is beautiful. And then,
Oh shit! Were you feeling like I might die?
no, I was just
Okay.
like, the thought that literally went through my mind was, I'm strapped to this person, and if I'm gonna die, there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, that's a bad feeling.
I can't.
For me.
but I was like, I can't panic about that because I'm no longer in control. And so we get to the door, and they tell you what to do, like cross your arms and like bend your knees, and we're gonna fall out of the plane. And there's this moment where they count 3, and then it's just like you're not even doing anything. You're already like crouched with your hands across your
sounds
chest,
terrifying.
and then you just flip out of the plane.
Well, I'll flip out
and then-
literally and figuratively.
and there's this moment as you're like plummeting and you're sort of doing these somersaults where you sort of feel, the equilibrium is completely lost. It's like when you watch Point Break and you see those scenes and it's like you're looking at all those guys and having a blast and doing that thing and you're looking at it. It's hard to describe how plummeting, when you're plummeting, you don't feel like you're falling.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Feels
That's what
like
they said.
it feels like
Yeah.
you're fucking flying.
Okay.
And it's just like you're looking at everything and you're like, it is surreal. And it is the single most exhilarating thing that I've ever done that wasn't just looking at some beautiful scenery or something.
I saw on some of the actors who had done it said like it's terrifying and it was all terrifying. And then as soon as they got on the ground, they wanted to do it again.
I wanted
Were
to
you
do
not
it.
even terrified during?
I was never terrified, not
Okay.
once.
To take it back, they get on the plane and Utah seems suspicious. He thinks that
Compromise,
maybe his
yeah.
chute's been like sabotaged.
Yeah.
He's like, who packed my chute? And Bodhi's like, I did. Why? And he's
Take
just like-
mine or whatever.
Yeah,
He's just like, if you don't trust me, take mine. And then
Well, yeah, you
like
start
I said, the
thinking
guys
about,
start
like, the
playing
mind
hot
games.
potato. It's like, no, you don't want this one. It's rigged for a neck breaker. He's like, here, you take this one instead. And he's like, no, you don't want this
And
one.
then at this point, Johnny's done playing. He's like, fuck it, just give me this one.
It's like, are we going to jump or jerk
He
off?
says, are we going to jump or jerk off? That's a fucking great
Yeah,
line.
that's a great line.
He's like, I think he's like, at this point, he's like, fuck it. I guess if these guys are going to kill me, they're going to kill me.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
let's just
But
fucking do
again,
it.
he is as much of a free spirit as like Bodhi, that he's just like going with the flow.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, just like when he went surfing and just like when he, kind of went into the FBI, into a new career. Like, this is a
Absolutely.
moment where he's like, you know what? That's why he's so much in common with these guys, where this actually makes sense. Because in no reality is this really a normal thing.
He's like cut from the same cloth as these
Exactly.
guys.
Because in most other realities, you're like, okay, the cops probably like, fuck you guys, and he's trying to fight them, and I'm not getting on that plane or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's like, let's do it. And one of my favorite scenes again is just when they jump out of the plane, they for a moment become that kind of that buddy group they were on the beach at night, reminiscing and talking by the fire, right? Because at that point they're not thinking about their differences.
Yeah.
They're thinking about what they have in common.
They're bonding.
They're bonding because they've just jumped out of an airplane and they have kind of like, let's enjoy what we have around us. We'll get to business later.
I feel like if I was Utah in that moment, the second I was out of the plane, I'd pull the thing because I'd have to know if it was going to open or not.
But he was having fun. They were all laughing. Even Utah was having
Yeah,
fun. He was
yeah.
like, they all forgot. Bodhi, I bet you the only person that didn't forget was Bodhi. Bodhi
Yeah.
always knew was
His eyes were on the prize.
awaiting when they landed. But all the other dudes and Johnny were like, we're having a good time.
Bodhi's like, well, Swayze is clearly doing his own skydiving in the movie. Like, you can see his face, and it's like, oh, that's Swayze. Where I couldn't quite tell about some of the other guys.
Right.
They seem like they might have been.
I feel like they all
the guy
did.
with the flippers on his feet, but like the only one who's clearly not skydiving is Keanu Reeves.
I think that it was the surfers that did, like Nathaniel and
Those guys seem like they do it.
They probably would.
For real.
Like
and
Nathaniel
they
was
kinda
like
show
the
their
one who was like
faces.
doing this.
Yeah, he's like reclined out.
Yeah.
I love that moment. He had the flippers on.
It was awesome.
I love
And then the
that.
fact it wasn't over like just a desert, but over the lakes. I mean, how beautiful is
Yeah,
that? And they
it's-
all grab it, like land in water.
Well, they like linked up and they're all
Yeah.
like holding hands, and
We
it's
love
like a
each other.
family.
We're friends.
It's like a family moment, all that shit. But yeah, like Swayze, like got addicted to skydiving on the production. Like the fact that they'd like rap for the day and then he'd go and like have him take him out just to do it for fun. And I think
Really?
the story was like that the studio was pissed and they're like, guy, we can't have you like getting killed. Like, no more recreational skydiving until we're done.
And he's like,
Like,
okay,
we'll let you do
psych.
it for the movie itself, but you can't just go and be doing it or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, good luck telling Patrick Swayze that in 1991.
Right? He
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
he doesn't need you.
No.
But anyway, it's fucking brilliant, man.
Because if you really think about it, if that movie doesn't have Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze, does it even...
It's probably a throwaway, another movie that doesn't really work.
No, but
Yeah.
do people even... Does it become a cult following?
No, not at all.
So
So
those
you
guys
having those
made it.
names, yeah.
But they're specific characters almost made, or
Well,
actors
I
made those
think
movies.
if Swayze's not in there, you've got some no-name stuntman. It's like I think that's one of the draws to it. It's like you're sort of pulled in by the Bodhi mystique because Swayze is like doing the stunts, and you're like, that dude's a badass.
Yeah.
You feel like that's really him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's who Swayze was a guy who's like in tune with
But if
all
it
that
was a
shit.
throwaway actor playing the Swayze part, would this movie have become what it was?
No.
I don't
Nah.
think so.
No.
He's got the charisma
Yeah.
to draw you in.
And so then we see that everyone else is gone. Everyone's pulled their cords, and it's Utah and Bodhi.
They're like locked arms, like
they're
kind of
doing-
like that Predator.
Yes. I was
Like
about to say.
Arnold and
Dylan.
Dylan and Dutch.
It's like, you pull it.
No, you pull it.
You pull it. No, you pull it.
But they are. He's like, pull the chute. We're getting like low, and he's like, no, you first.
And I love how freaking Bodhi pulls.
He
Yeah, he
yanks
pulls
his
you Johnny's.
thing.
Yeah.
Is that you fucker?
They said like one thing that the movie kind of sort of cheats on is that you can't have a conversation with somebody in free fall. Like it's just
I
too
heard
loud.
that too, but doesn't matter.
For the movie, you need it,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like you can look the other way at something like that.
100%.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They're back at the airstrip. That's like presumably a long ass way they had to walk. I don't know.
Or they got picked up in a vehicle or something.
And like Utah's
Oh,
legs
by what's his
jacked
name?
up.
Yeah, but
Rosie
maybe
or-
Rosie
yeah.
picked him up in his
Yeah.
Jeep.
However it is, they're back on the airstrip. They're packing up all their gear, and that's when Bodhi tells
Who
Utah
flew
like
the plane?
just
They-
a
some
pilot, the
rando.
same guy from later, I think, at the
Yeah,
end,
okay.
just a charter.
Yeah.
But Bodhi's like, "Come on, Utah, I got to show you something." Takes him to the van. He has like
That
this
infamous van.
portable sort of VHS set up. He's got a tape on there where Rosie's got a knife to Tyler's throat.
Son of a bitch.
I feel like that's the only time in the movie we really get a close up of Rosie.
Yeah.
Like he's just sort of that guy in the background all the time.
yeah.
But he's perfect for that role because
he's
he's
so
a no
creepy.
bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I need to do.
Utah's pissed.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. Utah seems ready to kill Bodhi.
But you could tell Bodhi's in control because he knows it's all fine.
Bodhi explains that if he doesn't meet Rosie at a predetermined time and place, that he's going to kill Tyler, and that
In a
he's
pre-cell phone world, this is like a brilliant plan.
yeah, totally
Because
great.
he's like a ticking.
He's like, I can't reach him until later on.
He's like a
so-
mechanism.
He's a
he says.
mechanism,
He's a
exactly.
mechanism.
Yeah. And he's saying some bullshit like, I could never hurt Tyler.
That's why
It's
I have
like-
to have Rosie.
That's why. But dude, if you're instructing someone else to do the dirt for you, it's like the same thing.
Yep.
Like,
But
are
if
you
you think,
falling out
if you
of?
think about a sociopath, it's the ends justify the means. So it's
Yeah.
like he does not want to. I believe he doesn't want to hurt her. He just knows that he trusts that Johnny's going to do what he needs to do, and nobody's going to die here in
Yeah.
Bodhi's mind.
Are you
Nobody.
getting off of Team Bodhi though? Does this pull
No,
you off
because
of Team
again,
Bodhi?
you're hoping for that perfect scenario where everything works out and everybody kind of just they go away.
Everyone goes home happy.
Everybody goes home happy. That's Team Bodhi for me. Problem is that they're playing a game that's just not going to work out that way.
How's it going to work out that way? Bodhi says that Johnny's got to play along on one last job.
See, this is
Yeah.
where Bodhi rubbed me the wrong way for probably the only time in the movie is there was no need for that. There was no
To
need
take him on the robbery?
There was no need for that because it's like why?
Well, the only thing I could see is that he needed Utah to make sure that they got away. But how is Utah going to do that? I don't see it.
I mean, you could have Utah held hostage somewhere. You go do your job and then whatever. But you're putting in, a kind of a question mark into your operation, like an unstable kind of element into
Yeah.
something you've been doing for 3 years.
Right.
You're jeopardizing your operation because of your move, right?
he says that thing about like, you might like it. to Utah. Like it's a killer rush.
He's fucking around.
Do you think he's trying to get him like to recruit him into the
Yes,
gang?
absolutely. I don't know if he's trying to recruit him. I think he's just trying. He thinks that it'll be easier to get Johnny on board to come along.
I think that he's almost like, let's just do it. It's almost like, when you're a kid and you're hurting like some kids like hurting animals, or if you're killing ants, like Bodhi just wants to turn the screw a little bit.
Oh, that's a good.
And just see kind of.
He's seeing how far he can push Utah.
Because he feels, like you said, Utah's cut from the same cloth. He just wants to see if Utah can go all the way.
He's trying to corrupt him.
So by handing him, he gives him an unloaded shotgun.
Right.
And he's like telling you, we can't have you walking in there with just your dick in your hand. It is a good line. Utah sort of says, I can't do this thing.
I am an FBI agent.
It's an intense moment.
I know, man. Isn't it wild?
I know, but he's like, you might like it. It's a killer rush.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's so good. And he says, why be a servant to the law when you can be its master? That's
he
like
wants
Bodhi's
to teach him a
philosophy, right?
lesson.
Bodhi is a philosopher.
But he wants to teach him a lesson. In no way does he believe that Johnny's going to be like, oh, I like this, let me join you. No way in the world.
All the other guys are buying in, though. Like, he get Gromit is like, fucking A, when he says that. They're on board with it, dude.
Also,
I think they are drinking the Kool-Aid.
They are drinking the Kool-Aid. Bodhi is just fucking around.
You know what? The moment I think that he wins Utah over is Bodhi's telling him, Tyler really does love you. Like, he's like
totally.
saying, she didn't, it's not her style to fall this hard for somebody. And that seems to be what puts him over the top. It'll do it.
Over the top.
Oh, man. But yeah, there's got no mask for poor Johnny Utah. He's going to have to go in there with his face out. They enter the bank. Utah's reluctantly kind of assisting.
He's schlepping around. It's like, oh, God.
He's telling these guys he's going to blow out their kneecaps and all this and whatever. It's a long shot. I feel like from inside the van to they're in the robbery, is one long shot. Another awesome Catherine Bigelow
It's
moment.
a very uncomfortable moment again.
That dude that Utah punked out, the one he's like, I'll blow out your kneecaps, had a damn fanny pack on. It's an article of the time.
My uncle still rocks one of those.
Really? They're kind of coming back.
He keeps a gun in it.
The cool kids, oh shit, don't fuck with a guy with a fanny pack.
No.
That's the lesson for today.
And of course, the friggin' cop had to play hero, that asshole.
Yeah.
I love that he points out the camera and he's like, smile. Probably can't return to the FBI now, huh?
I don't know. I think if Utah said, here's what happened,
I'm being held hostage.
Forced.
Yeah.
He doesn't look
he's got
like
so many enemies now in the agency that
absolutely.
This was probably.
He doesn't seem like he's into it though. I don't think on camera it would come off like he's a willing participant.
Right. I don't know. He has a gun and he's threatening someone about kneecaps or whatever.
It's fucking greedy Bodhi.
Yeah. But then, Bodhi goes completely off of their standard operating procedure and sends Roach to the vault. And I love that Roach is like, what?
The vault?
We don't go to the vault. That's not what we do.
Bodhi probably knows that this is their last operation for a long time.
It's probably their last one ever. Yeah. So, he wants that.
And he also knows that the storm's coming up the next year, so he's probably like, fuck it.
I think he feels like we got time.
Maybe Bodhi is like, this is all a death wish. This is one long suicide pact.
If he thinks that the 50-year storm is a suicide mission,
then it doesn't matter to him.
This could be they just need enough to get them to the next.
So Bodhi's constructed his own death cult, essentially. But he's the only member.
The others aren't aware of that.
No, they're not. Yeah.
He's the only member. Oh, that's sad. Bodhi's psychotic.
How about the bank? How about the bank manager throwing the cashier under the bus?
You let him in.
Who the fuck is Mr. Whatever? And he's like, here's the key, do whatever they say. To the woman, he's like,
I'm just gonna chill over here.
Yeah, that's so lame. So Utah tells Bodhi, he's like, you're breaking your own rules, man.
You're burning time.
Yeah.
Roach and Gromit are in the vault, and Roach is not happy about this at all.
He's like, why are we doing this?
This is a terrible idea.
And he's like, let's just hurry and get done with it and get the fuck out of here. And that's in that time, the extra time, that's when that hero cop who's lying down next to the security guard, he's like saying, I'm a cop. He's like, so what? And he shows he's got a gun. He's like, I'm a cop. He's like, do you still have your ankle, your backup piece? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, look, if I do something, you back me up.
That's a hard, I mean, you have to, but still, it's like, God.
Yeah. The security guard clearly wasn't all in on this. He's like, come on, let's just let him.
They're severely outgunned, outmanned, but
yeah.
No, that's hard.
So, but the cop pops up and like shoots Bodhi in the chest.
And Utah.
Like,
both.
Knocks him off the thing. Yep. He whirls, shoots Utah in the chest. To his credit, Utah is trying. He does a really good job of saying like, he puts his badge out and he's like, federal agent undercover. And then the guy shoots him. I'm like, this guy is a little trigger happy, the cop. I just thought like,
he's like nervous.
He did a pretty damn good job of identifying himself as the FBI. And the guy just still, of course though, you still might.
In that moment.
Plus, why are you trusting him?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he gets tagged in the shoulder by Nathaniel. Jimmy Carter
pops him in the shoulder. The guard shoots, empties every bullet, hitting nothing.
It's nothing.
The guard is kind of he's terrible. He's shooting at
we
Utah.
Feel bad for that guy.
Utah's like tumbling out of the way.
Well, Nathaniel was also doing some nifty somersaults.
Was it Nathaniel who's doing the somersaults?
Nathaniel's like, yeah, he's getting out of the way.
The guard is like a waste though, isn't he?
Yeah, poor Roach unloads on the poor guard. Kills him, shoots him in the back.
The guard's dead meat. The cop shoots Roach and knocks him off his feet and shoots LBJ.
Yeah.
Gromit.
So we assume that, Roach gets hit in the vest, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Must.
He gets knocked off his feet and he seems to be struggling, but he's okay.
Yeah.
But Gromit, I think, gets shot in the neck.
Yeah, he gets hit in the jugular.
Yeah.
Or the carotid.
Yeah, that's not good.
And Bodhi pulls his mask off, which I'm like,
suicide.
Why?
Suicide.
I mean, I guess the FBI presumably knows who you are now already.
At that point, he realizes that
he's on a death mission,
game.
right?
Remember, he thinks everything's gonna be fine.
He's like up in the stakes.
I think it hit him really hard. What was
Seeing
happening?
one of his guys get shot?
Yeah.
Or like this is the first time it's gone bad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is the first time also we see Bodhi in anything. I mean, he feels, I guess, aggression when he's fighting off the guys on the beach with Johnny, but we see rage here. This is the first time that we see him feel like he doesn't
live in his
out of
face.
control.
Yeah, he's not the happy-go-lucky
because somebody just got shot.
He wants to kill this guy who shot him.
Yeah, I feel like, who are you to destroy our perfect plan? You know what I mean? Like,
God complex, man. That's a great insight. Yeah, it's like, all right, I'm going to destroy you then.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't, at this point, he doesn't care about the mask anymore. He's like, all right, time to just the wrath of Bodhi. You know what I mean?
Blows away that cop like gruesomely. Like,
I mean, the look in his eyes is something you haven't seen all movie either.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's completely serious, just looking at, like, he looks like a stone cold, like blooded killer.
So Utah does that movie thing where you rip your shirt open to reveal that the vest stopped the bullet,
Which we knew he had a vest on, but that's fine.
Bodhi's trying to help Gromit, who's like bleeding out.
And pleading for help, which is
that was a tough
sad.
moment. It was a good performance by that guy. He's like, he's not saying much because you can't, but he's like, his eyes, he's like clearly just like in panic mode. And like then he dies right there in Bodhi's arms.
I mean, it hit Bodhi hard, I think.
Yeah, an injured Roach, not injured Roach. Roach is not injured. He's like,
he seems to be struggling, but he's not hit. Yeah, maybe just knocked the wind out.
Trying to gather up the money that he can.
I think Bodhi's love and affection for Johnny
went away,
disintegrated that moment. He cannot blame Johnny for this death.
Oh, do you think he blames Johnny?
Yeah.
Anyway,
interesting.
If this shit didn't happen. Or sorry, if Johnny didn't do his bullshit, this guy was never going to die.
That's true. But so as the three ex-presidents who are still alive are leaving, Bodhi like hits Johnny in the face with his pistol. That would not have happened
if they executed the mission without anybody.
What do you think? Were they going to leave Johnny behind though, or were they going to take him with them?
Probably. I think. Well, I don't know.
I probably locked him up somewhere. I just don't think Bodhi was going to hit him in the face. I don't think he would have knocked him out.
No, I don't think he would have done that.
He would have been like, either see ya, enjoy the FBI.
Yeah, or take him with him.
Yeah, one of the two things.
But it wasn't going to be, I don't think he wanted to hurt him.
No.
Either way.
He's full of rage now. Yeah. I mean, I feel like shit got real. Like for the guys, like it's been all fun and games up until now, and now one of our guys was killed.
So shit got real for Johnny when he saw the video. Shit got real for Bodhi. when one of his guys
Yeah,
got
Bodhi
killed.
has well and surely snapped at this point.
Because it's still been a game to Bodhi up to this point.
Right. Now we feel like Bodhi would kill Johnny if he got the chance.
If he had to do it, he would now. When
Yeah,
before it was like,
that's
I
true.
really didn't want to do it.
Not that he would like take joy in it, but that he'd do it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Because it was also the first time that an ex-president pulled a trigger in a bank job.
Yeah. They've never had to shoot before. It's always been, they've been like so smooth. They
The
haven't had
kingdom
to do
is
it.
crumbling, boys.
That's the end of this next to last chapter.
That got me worked up. I'm sweating.
I am too, my friend. But yeah, if you want to hear how this one ends, I guess you're going to have to come back and join us again.
You better.
They take another flight.
Yeah. There's some serious action still to be had.
You don't want to miss that.
You pull it.
Give me two.
Yeah, this movie, fucking great. All right, come back with us. We'll see you again next time. We'll be back.